Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast.
Hey guys.
So today we're going to be talking about dating disasters.
Yeah, so we're going to get into that little topic and hope you guys have fun. Grab a glass. Join us in our terrible ass, weak ass. Cheers.
You're listening to Tash and Nix.
So my question for you, real quick, before we start. Do you have a dating strategy? Like, do you date with a purpose? Do you date just to have fun? Do you have like a strategy for your dating?
I definitely date with a purpose. So like when I go out on a date with somebody, I like to feel them out, see what they're looking for so I can know that we're on the same page for sure.
So if you were in a date in the beginning and they were like, oh, I'm just looking for vibes,
I'd be like, that's cool. That's not what I'm looking for. I would still stay on the date. I would offer to just go half with them and then
keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
That's pretty generous though. Yeah. When you know that it's probably not the same, I'm like, I'll just pay for mine.
I'll just pay for mine and we'll go our separate ways.
Don't you think that is something that should have been discussed prior? Have you ever had that happen? Do you normally discuss it prior to going on the date?
Yeah, normally it doesn't make it to the date because I do like online dating, like Bumble. It's pretty much all I do now. I used to do Tinder, BLK. But yeah.
Have you ever been on a BLK date though?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What? Was that at a gas station?
Yeah.
Was that at the Valero?
That's reminding me of a dating disaster. We'll get to that
later. Yikes. Okay.
Yeah.
When I did date, at one point I was just dating because I was bored, honestly. Yeah. I was dating because I was bored. And then I got tired of that after a while. And then I finally, when I finally started getting together, I was like, Nicole, I'm going to date with a purpose at this point. So if I already know they're like, yeah, it's just vibes, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Or they weren't really straight up about what their intentions are.
Yeah.
And skating around the topic, it means that they're going to keep doing that the whole time. So
yeah. I hate when a man says, I'm just looking for vibes. Like, what does that mean?
Like, what? Sir? Vibes, you're 35.
Yeah, usually that means they're just looking for, some booty.
Yeah. So. And that's fine. Do your thing. But, don't, misrepresent yourself. Don't make it seem like you're looking for, something serious. And then we get on a date and you're like, just for vibes for now. Don't want to rush anything. Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, I just want to see how it goes, blase. What's the best date you've ever been on?
So, I thought about this, right? And I'm like, okay. I want to use another one for another example. The guy I'm dating now, we had a really, really good first date. But I want to use this other one as an example because it was right when I really decided to try to date seriously, and I just was tired of being disappointed.
Right.
And this guy kind of found it. I was in Dallas, and he found out all the really cool things that I liked. Mm-hmm. And he found out about something that I've never done before, and he took me on 3 different dates on our first date. It was awesome. He took me to this garden, this botanical garden. It was really, really nice. We went out and we had a really good, we just talked, we walked. I was a little nervous because he was holding my hand. And I was like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? If I should hold his hand or not. But I was like, whatever, go with the flow, Nicole, why not? And then second place, he timed it. We went up to this way top of I don't know what it's called in Dallas, but it's this round thing on the top, and you go all the way up to the top of it and you can see the city or whatever. And I have a fear of heights, but it was really sweet of him to do that. I overcame my fear and I was like, I'm just going to do it. He paid for it. So
that could have went bad.
It could have, but I was like, nah, Nicole, you're real, you a down ass bitch. So, and then after, I'm trying to think, we got dinner after that. It was, he took me to this really cool place. It was it was also in Dallas, and it was I don't know how to explain it. It was what the Domain looks like, sort of. Mm-hmm. But it had inside, it was a bunch of food vendors. It was kind of it was really dope. It was kind of having food trucks, but inside. I don't know. There was a bunch of them. And it was 3 levels, and the top level was a bar. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. He set the bar high.
That's a nice date.
He came disappointing later, but yeah, he was still a sweet guy, and I still hold him in high regard, but that was one of my best dates. What about you?
Wow, well, can't really follow that up. I'm about to sound basic as well. So the best date for me, it wasn't really the date. It was just kind of his actions. He came and picked me up.
Yeah.
Y'all, we live in Houston. A man hasn't picked me up since maybe my freshman year of college when I was in Austin. That's pretty much a big city. Yeah, and he lived like all the way over in like Spring or somewhere. I forgot where he lived, but it was far. So he came and picked me up. When he picked me up, he opened the car door for me. He had flowers and chocolates, and I was just really impressed. Like, I like the little shit like that.
Yeah.
So we went out to eat. That was cool. We had good conversation. He's like, oh, do you want to go to like Dave and Buster's afterwards? And then I'm like a big kid. I love doing stuff like that.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Dave and Buster's.
So we went to Dave and Buster's after that, and it was just great. And I think we actually went to a bar after that, too. So this was like a 6-hour date.
Yeah.
Really all together. But
Aww.
yeah, it was really fun. It don't take much to impress me. I'm an emotional Pisces.
But the thing is though, like, it really doesn't take that much. Like, you guys can be very impressive by not doing you know what I'm saying? Like, going to a botanical garden is free. You know what I'm saying? Going to the place it cost money, but it wasn't that expensive, you know? Just like going to Dave and Buster's, that's fun, you know what I mean? Just like being spontaneous and picking you up. That's a gesture of like romance.
Yeah,
like,
I love
the
that.
hell? You have to be careful and make sure that you vet that person ahead of time because you don't end up in anybody's trunk.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can say that's only happened a few times where someone's actually picked me up, and I never tell them my exact like apartment number or anything like that. I would like meet them in the front. So, but yeah, that's really dope.
So, like, as a Black woman dating out here in these streets, have you had any disappointments?
Yeah, I think living in Austin especially, I would get this is my first date that I've been on in a long time with a Black woman. I'm like, oh, that's great. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hated that. Yeah, like, I'm supposed to clap for you? Like, I don't. You're Black, sir.
There you go.
Like, what? And like, oh, so I'm the exception. Like, that just really, and it was like a broken record at one point. I was like, as I dipped my chip in the queso, I'm like, well, this isn't going anywhere, you know?
Yeah.
What's one disappointment for you being a Black woman in dating?
I would have to second that. When I used to live in Austin, it was horrible. Dating in Houston is so much better.
Yeah.
But I would get you're pretty for a Black girl all the time. What are you mixed with?
Yeah.
You have pretty good hair. Just like comments like that. Yeah. Or I don't usually date Black girls, but you're pretty.
Oh.
Like, oh, nice.
You.
Thanks.
Yeah. That's so sweet of you.
Yeah.
Someone dating your Black
coming
mother.
from Black men is really disappointing.
It's disheartening.
Yeah.
I don't want to be, or like, I've had the same little compliments or whatever, because I am Caribbean, and they're like, oh, I've always wanted to, you know, be with like a Caribbean woman. And I'm like, pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you dating me because I'm a fetish or because I'm a different Black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a Black woman, period. So, like, I hated that. And thank God I don't have to deal with it anymore. But I just remember being a broken record going on dates in Austin. Like, I fucking hate it here. Like, I think another one is even if you try to step outside your comfort zone and date outside of your race, you have to make sure you're not being fetishized, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, it's another common thing that happens to Black women. And it's like, I don't want to be on a date and you telling me how, like, my skin is like the night sky. It's so luminous. And you just want to touch my Black hair. I'm like, I'm kind of creeped out.
Touch my Black hair.
They're weird. Like,
yeah.
It's just, no. It's a no for me.
Yeah.
I think those are our main disappointments dating. Yeah. Being as a Black woman. I mean, there's also stereotypes we have to fight against all the time. Like, wow, you're not as aggressive. And I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. I remember I had a guy tell me, because he kept skirting around the idea of taking me out on dates. He never took me out on one. And then, like, I posted a picture of the guy I was dating, like, currently. Like, it was, like, literally months after. Like, we already started dating, and it was, like, months later. This idiot can write me, like, dang, you never even gave me a chance. I'm like, you had all this time to ask me on a date. And he's like, wow, you're so aggressive. What? I was like, that's aggressive? Yeah. Okay, whatever. So kind of overcoming stereotypes of nonsense, because no.
Wow.
I can't
What's like a disaster date that you've been on or experienced in the dating world?
I've had hella disaster dates. If you watched our previous episodes, you've heard of Hell Date, You've heard of pandemic dating.
Yeah.
A mess. Okay. If y'all haven't
And
watched
there's
those.
more.
Yes. If you have not watched those, go back and watch them because they're freaking hilarious. But one example I'm going to give of a dating disaster is a guy who I met him when I was out at a bar, and he was with another woman. I should have known then. He asked for my number, and I said no, but I gave him my Instagram. And then shortly after, we went on a date. So, when we went on the date, he brought me to some place, like some eatery. And he was like, do you want something to drink? And I'm thinking, yeah, I like to think about it first before I get the drink or whatever. And he's like, so do you want something from the bar or do you want something from outside? And because we were going to the patio, I was confused. I was like, oh, is there something else outside, like, for us to drink or whatever?
Right.
And he was like, nah, man, I got some liquor in my car.
So ghetto.
Sir? What? I have never even heard of that in my life, so I was confused. You remember the guy I'm talking about? He had like that New Orleans accent. You were like, is this a 504 boy? Like, what is going on? Anyway, so we sit down, and I'm like, no, I actually would not like a car drink. But
Car drink.
Yeah, I think I'll just stick with like a Sprite, you know what I'm saying, and a water.
Right.
So I'm ordering my food because I'm hungry at this point. He's like, get what you want. You know what I'm saying? He's like, but I'm going to make myself a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of drink. And I'm like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, God, this is Nicole, what the hell? Right. So he comes back, but then there are like these guys that came in. They look like Sons of Anarchy. They were like in biker outfits and stuff. And I was a little confused, like, how do you know these guys, And they're just like talking, and I'm sitting here just like, yes, may I get the, I was confused.
Right.
And so then finally, he's like, oh, man, Nicole, this is blah, 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 blah. This is Nicole, one of my business partners. I was like, what business?
Right.
I didn't ask. Not my business. So I was eating. Another one came up too. And I'm just sitting here like, He's like, yeah, we discussing business right now. Just give me a minute. And I'm just sitting here like, whatever. My food finally came. And can't wait to leave. He's like, hey, real quick. My cousin's finna come in the parking lot. If you don't mind, I'm going to go run out and talk to him. You want to get your food and just come on? I was like, no, I actually just want to eat my food because it's here. And you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Mm-hmm. So he goes to the parking lot to go talk to his cousin. I don't know if this is true or not. I get on the phone with my friend and I was like, hey, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like, I don't know what's going on, but this man, like, bro, I don't know if he's doing deals in front of me. I don't know what's happening. He went to the car in the parking lot. Like, who does that? I end up getting frustrated. He sits back down. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, you brought me on a date to leave me here. I'm confused. I'm like, you're conducting business here. He asked me if I want a car drink. And then you go into the parking lot. Like, this is weird, right. And he was like, you know what? I was like, he started getting an attitude with me. And I was like, wait a minute. Let me make sure I have this correct. Because I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and pay for myself and I'm going to go. He goes, what? You think I'm a dog or something? I was like, I don't understand. He's like, you think I'm gonna just, so you just think I'm the type of person that's gonna let somebody pay for they own dinner? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Right. But the thing is like, this date is weird. And I'd rather pay for myself and just go home. He's like, nah, see, that's the thing. He just starts, I don't know. He was just rambling nonsense. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and go. So I was walking out because I don't, want to do that. I don't want it to look like I'm not paying for my meal. Mm-hmm. And so I told the waitress, like, she saw and she's like, what's going on? I'm like, something's wrong with him. I think you know him or whatever. I was like, I offered to pay for my own meal. You can take my card if you want to, but he's weird and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? And so my dumb ass gave him another chance. Stupid. He wrote me and he apologized. He was like, I'm really sorry. I don't know what was wrong with me. I don't know. I really don't. He took me to a movie and talked the whole movie loud as hell, answering phone calls. I really wanted to see the movie. It was Queen and Slim. And I really wanted, a good one. Yes. And I was so irritated because he was so loud. And I was like, would you please be quiet? He was like, you rude. I'm rude? Like, what? Yes. And so after that, I was like, Nicole, you made a mistake. You gotta. Yeah. So he said choice words to me after that, like, and through messages, he told me, fuck me in my little ass car. You know what I'm saying? I should have known better. So it was.
He did say that.
Yeah, he really did. I was like, damn, I love my car. Like, yeah, okay. Rude. So that was one of my dating disasters. What? What my car do to you? Like, okay.
Wow.
The Wody? Like, fuck you. Like, what the hell?
That's hilarious.
What about you? Do you have a dating disaster?
So, this is like one person, but like 3 dating disasters with the same person. So a while back, I met this guy on Bumble. We meet up, and when I see him, I'm like, God damn.
Oh, he's fine.
Fine. Girl.
Mm-mm.
Tall, brown skin, athletic build.
Brown skin.
It was like, ooh, okay. So we sit down, we're having like a nice little convo, and he's asking me about, this is the first like, kind of like, okay, he's a bit much. He'd asked me about like the prior guy I was seeing, and I was like, oh, it didn't work out. And he was like, oh, he ain't want you, huh? I was like, oh.
Pause. Okay.
I'm like, okay. And so I think he was trying to make like a dry joke. It wasn't landing well, but I was just like, okay. So got over that. We still had like an okay conversation, whatever. Another date number 2. We meet up. This was like during the pandemic, stuff was shut down. So we go to that daiquiri spot I took you to where they were rolling dice.
Yeah, I know.
And so we were sitting in his car drinking daiquiris and just talking. And somehow we end up in a whole argument in his car over him being like, yeah, like when I get married, I want my wife to be like a stay-at-home mom. And I was like, like I never really picture myself being a stay-at-home mom. Before I could even like really even get that sentence out, he was like, what?
That's what you sound like?
What you mean? Like, you don't want to... I was like, no, I just never like pictured myself being a stay-at-home mom. He was like, well, that's what I want for my wife. That's what my wife gonna do. Like, that's good for you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of telling you
what I don't want. Like,
I'm not even objecting to that, like, being my life potentially.
It's just currently I don't see
Just
that
I never
right now.
saw that before, and I never really hear men. Up until that point, I never really hear men say that's what
Correct.
he like wanted. But yeah, he really took offense to that, so we got in a whole argument in his car, and then we kind of got past that. That should have been the end of it, guys. But I was finessed by looks. He was fine. Okay, he looked good. So after that, hung out again. We were just sitting at my place. We were watching When They See Us.
Okay.
Very good. Like, it's like a 5-part movie.
Yeah,
you guys are familiar with it about the
yeah.
Central Park 5. They get wrongly convicted.
Yeah.
You know the story. So while we're watching it, he's basically blaming the kids for being wrongly convicted. And I was like, what? And I remember, like, I was wrong because I was like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, well, Tasha, you probably should have said that. But...
Shouldn't have called him names. I was wrong about that, but yeah, his viewpoint on that movie was
really
wild.
dumb. Like, what?
So, and again, he was like, oh, I'm an idiot? What? And so we actually got past that. But then again, we were talking about, like, kind of our expectations in a relationship.
Yeah.
And this is when, like, it really blew up.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, after this. He was telling me that basically when he gets in an argument with his girlfriend or whatever, like, he's like, yeah, like, I call my mom. I get her opinion on stuff. I want to know what she thinks I should do if, like, me and my woman are having a problem. And I'm like, you're 33.
Yeah.
Why are you calling your mom?
No.
And again, I was a bit disrespectful. I'm going to say that. I was like, you know what? I can't be with somebody that's like, every time you get in an argument with somebody, you're like, mommy. And I did that.
Tashay.
Like, the look on his face was priceless. I would do it again.
Facts.
It was ridiculous. So he was so mad. He had like brought some wine. He grabs his wine, like literally stormed out, like whole temper tantrum or whatever. And then a couple months later, he ends up hitting me up or whatever. But it was just a disaster from start to finish.
Yeah,
like, horrible.
He was so immature.
I've never even gotten in like an argument with a man like that before. Like, it was horrible.
His viewpoints on things were just dumb. Like, he wasn't open-minded. He just really wasn't emotionally mature. And it was just...
Yeah.
I remember you were telling stories. I'm like, Dashay, what the hell is wrong with this man?
He wasn't open-minded at all. He was against, like... feminism, and I see why men are against like feminism, especially like modern day type feminists that take it way too far, and the I don't need nobody type woman, yada yada yada. But I point out to him like, hey, you posted this picture where you were like, I need to be a feminist for my daughter, and like now you're telling me that's not what you represent. So I'm kind of confused. Can you elaborate? Like, because you're like contradicting yourself. You really don't seem like you know what you want to be at this point.
Basically,
yeah.
That's why. Like, why couldn't he call his father? Is his father not in the picture?
He's deceased. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Anyways. But yeah.
Yikes. Okay.
My point is, you shouldn't be calling anybody. Discuss that with your woman.
Yeah. Listen, you got out. That was good.
Yeah.
Because
and he wanted to be a leader and stuff, and I'm like, great. I want somebody to be a leader, but you're not being a leader if you're calling your mom every time you have a problem.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like,
and she's getting your biased. She's gonna give her biased opinion.
Exactly.
She's only getting your side of the story.
You're gonna always be her precious little thing.
Now she hates me because you're telling her nothing but
correct. And now your whole relationship is going to be toxic because the mom and your woman are going to constantly butting heads because you don't know how to keep your relationship business in your relationship. Yeah.
I feel like this: when you're in a relationship or a marriage, that household only has room for one king and one queen.
Yeah.
Not two queens. Your mom can't be the second one.
Because how would you feel if I went to my dad for everything and then my dad was always on you and like, no, you'd be mad. It would make you feel like I'm questioning your authority in my relationship, in my household. And the same way you should think that way is the same way you should think about when you go to your mom about me. Like, don't do that. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was basically a shit show from start to finish. And the only reason why I didn't make it that far was because he was very good looking. And I was finessed.
Oh, the red flags were everywhere. You were like, I don't know if they're
everywhere.
Red.
They like kept. They were
thinking like
they were red flags on fire.
You were like another date.
Yeah, that was my bad in that situation. Should have left you a date one.
Yeah, I think.
Did you have any more?
I think the only other one I have more, but the only one I'll talk about is one I was mentioning in our previous episode where I went out on a date. I thought it was gonna be super cool and super fun. I met the guy. Now I drove down. And we parked my vehicle at his place. And it was like right outside of his, like, he lived in this like, I think they were townhome complexes or whatever.
Okay.
I parked my car and I'm like, I'm hungry. We're supposed to go out to eat dinner. We didn't go out to eat dinner because he was like, I got to do something real quick for my homeboy. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I need you to I need you to drive my car while I drive this other car. Now, the only car I knew of him is he had like this white like Benz or something like that. Mm-hmm. But then he pulls out this like big like brand new SUV, and I'm like, this is your car? He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. He's like, I just got it. I'm like, so why am I driving your car and why are you driving that car? Oh, because it's my homeboy got into it with his girlfriend and he took the car. And so I'm sitting here like, why are you involving yourself in this? Right. But okay. He's like, so I'm going to go drop the car off to him. I just want you to follow me. So I get in the car. There's a gun in the center console. So I'm like, oh shit, some hood shit going on. Let me call my sister, whatever. And I was like, hey, well, before I did all that, I was actually terrified. I was like, I'm sorry, excuse me. Why is there a gun in the center console? He was like,
is it loaded?
I'm like, are you licensed to carry a gun? He's like, well, I mean, it's mine. And so I said, okay.
Are you licensed?
Yeah. I said, well, here's the thing. If I get pulled over in this car, I'm saying it's yours. I just hope you are aware that, you know. He's like, dang, you would snitch on me? In a New York minute. Yeah. In a New York minute. Like,
officer it's him.
Exactly.
But I just realized, like, I hadn't went and like looked him up on Instagram or anything. So when I did, I found all that stuff.
So that's what I mean. Like, always check just to see, because there has been so many times that I've caught people up by going to their social media and realizing they had a fucking wife or they have children they never mentioned. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Yeah. And he was dumb as hell. How you gonna give you a Snapchat and have the same name for Instagram? You done?
Right.
Your boy is stupid.
He's smarter.
Like what? Yeah. See, you deserve better, sis. He's a whole damn idiot.
I do, you're right.
A whole dummy.
Whole dummy.
But yeah, I mean, let us know about your guys' dating disasters. Let us know what you think about ours. I mean, like I said, we are really big on sharing the bullshit that we've gone through. So let us know if you like it. definitely subscribe. We're almost getting close to our 50 subscribers on YouTube. So, don't forget, you guys are going to get that $5 Dollar Tree gift card. So, just let us know something. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.